to Balancing Act. Once again, I'm Piper.
Isaiah.
And I'm Preston.
And today we are going to be talking about how to balance school with applying to college and like college related stuff. I'm the discussion leader for this topic. So first we can start off by explaining kind of what the beginning of applying to college looks like, because we're juniors, we're about to start applying to colleges, but we're in the process of kind of starting to do that. Like, we're all taking the SAT and the ACT, we're looking for scholarships, we're making sure we have enough extracurriculars, we're thinking about how to write our college essays.
We're visiting campuses as well, to see if we like the environment, like the community around the campus, because that's a big point. That's an important part of applying to a college as well.
Yeah.
Not just the academics.
It's important to know where you're going to live, if you're going to like living there, what about the campus do you like the general student community there, stuff like that. So one part of the college applying process that I think most people hate is the SAT and the ACT. I think one thing we can talk about is like, which one did we all prefer?
I definitely prefer the SAT.
I prefer the SAT as well,
SAT.
Especially with the SAT being digitalized now and also being a lot shorter. It's just a lot less to deal with. And I personally found it to be a lot easier that we can use the calculator all the time, which on the ACT you can't. The ACT is a lot more pressure because it's such a short amount of time, but there's like
It is a little. There are easier questions. It's just you have it's so time constrained.
I think it kind of depends on what you're strong in. Like, I'm extremely strong in English, so the SAT is easier for me than the ACT because the ACT is not English focused; it's more math and science focused. Like our friend Caden did better on the ACT because he also works better under pressure. If you work better under pressure, the ACT might be better for you because SAT you can kind of you can work at your own pace.
Yeah, now with all the new changes, it's not as difficult, not as, would you say stressful?
It's not as stressful. You get, I think, 30 questions, but you get like 35 minutes to answer them, and most of them are easy in the first module anyways.
Approximately a minute and a half per question.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more time compared to, I think it was like 45.
It was like
45
Yeah.
seconds. The paper version was 45 seconds per question. Now you have a little bit more time, so a little bit more leeway.
And the math sections weren't calculator for all. Part of it was, part of it wasn't.
Yeah. So I guess our advice on how to kind of balance what you're taking with your school, don't take the one that don't take the one that you think you have to study for more, because you might not have the time, honestly. Because once you get to this point in your school career, you're going to have probably a good amount of work. That end of your junior year is the hardest. So don't pick the test that's harder for you. Pick the test that is easier for you and that you know you can consistently do better and better on. And also, I would recommend the SAT. It's a lot more, I think, widely known, accepted, and it's the one everybody takes. You're going to have a lot more people to help you. I feel like parents can sometimes help more on the SAT than the ACT because
there is a lot more resources out on the internet for the SAT rather than the ACT.
Like a lot of our parents didn't take the ACT either.
Mm-hmm.
Like my mom didn't take it, neither did my dad. So
Yeah, mine didn't either.
yeah. But I will say, if you're trying to stand out on your college application, maybe do take the ACT because it is going to be the lesser picked option.
Or take both. I mean,
Both is good.
A high achiever.
Both is also good if you're a high achiever.
Yeah,
We've
or
all
just
taken
to see
both.
which one you're the best at. I mean, it can't
Yeah.
hurt you to take both, because you could always just have the colleges look at all your scores, and normally they look at the highest one and say, oh, this student has this amount of potential. I mean, they're not gonna see a low ACT score and a high SAT score and say, hey, well, this student sucks because his ACT score was bad.
Yeah.
And not even consider the SAT score.
Exactly. And but just once again, when you're trying to balance everything you're doing with just adding extra tests on top of that, take both, but then just go with the one that's easier. I would say don't try to get your highest score after the first one. You don't want to be stuck taking it 3-4 times.
4 times, yeah.
And just having to keep studying. Study for the second one. It's easier for you. We can also talk about scholarships, because that's another very important part of the college process, figuring out how you're going to pay for all of
You can
this.
finance this, not become a wage slave, spending your days fucking selling your soul to the man,
And you're still
trying
not
to
gonna
pay
make it.
off your
You're
student
still not
debts.
gonna. You're
And
gonna
you're
be
still
dead,
not gonna
you
make it.
Still have debt.
Still not gonna make it. 45 years old, still got student loans, have not progressed anywhere in their job. That's, you
Biggest
don't want that to be
advice.
you.
It's pretty
Biggest, don't take out student loans. They're a scam.
Well, if you need to,
Well, if you
yeah,
really need
definitely.
Do your
yes.
best not to. They're a scam.
Which is why I want scholarships.
Exactly. So some scholarships that I've applied to a few scholarships, but some others.
Why?
Okay.
But yeah, applying to scholarships is a big part of applying to college. And that part's pretty easy to balance with school because scholarships are very low maintenance. Most of the time, all you have to do is write an essay, but there is some no essay scholarships where you're purely based on merit, and that's really cool too. Applying to scholarships it kind of just looks at like what your strongest factor about yourself is. Like, if you're very good in school, then apply to a lot of merit-based scholarships. If you're an athlete, apply to athletic scholarships. Colleges will sometimes even recruit athletes for free as long as you play the sport there.
If you're a minority, there is tons of
Oh, yeah.
scholarships.
There are
for
tons
you.
of scholarships.
If you're a
Free money.
minority, you don't have far to look. But
They want you, bro.
if
They
you're
want you.
even if you're like a woman,
Boost your number.
LGBTQ,
Boost your
yeah.
numbers.
If you have a very specific talent, like the arts, like there's a lot of poetry and art scholarships and stuff like that. If you're a big service leader, there's a lot of, like, I know the Rotary Club does a scholarship around here for service leaders and stuff like that. Or if you're none of those things and you're looking for something that that covers everything, Bright Futures, which pays for everything. You go to college for free. So
Fun
make sure you get
fact.
those SAT scores.
Fun fact, that's covered
And your
by
volunteer
the,
hours.
Fun fact, that's covered by the Florida lottery system, actually. The money that
is?
they make goes to the Bright Future Scholarship, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really cool. I did not know that. Play the lottery when you
Play
turn
the lottery.
18.
Gamble!
Gamble.
Gamble.
It's
That's
good
the
for
only
your
way you're going to
future.
be able to pay off those debts. That is the only way.
But yeah,
Gamble.
but to get the Bright Future Scholarship, you have to do 100 service hours. You have to get a very good SAT score, a very good ACT score. So all these things kind of intermingle to where like you get better stuff the better you do everywhere, including your grades. You have to have like I think is it a 3.5?
It's like a
3.5 for the 100% and a 3.0 for the 75%.
Yeah. So
So
yeah.
it's really not that hard. Even the 75% is like so. Like
Yeah.
Even 75% is good, but try to aim for the 100.
Yeah. So yeah, just it's good to make sure. Also, once you get to this point if you're like juniors like us, or even in your freshman sophomore year, just make sure you keep your grades up. Because when you're applying to colleges, you're going to submit your transcript for the fourth quarter of your junior year. We learned that in the college seminar we went to. So especially in junior year, like if you've been kind of sucking up into this point, just quarter four junior year, just lock in.
Lock in.
Do your best.
Lock in. There's no excuse. There
You
is
gotta
no
lock in.
There's never been an excuse. Y'all should have been doing better from the beginning.
I wouldn't say that, but
Oh,
Oh, no, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true. There's no excuse.
yeah, you have to make sure you're doing your stuff. Balancing school. It's very important. Another good topic you brought up was visiting campuses and visiting new areas. I feel like sometimes that can be a little hard to balance with school just because it is a lot of time you have to take. Like you have to take a day, and a lot of the time colleges don't tour on weekends. I've noticed because like I haven't been able to get a tour with USF yet because they don't tour on weekends. So I have to go over the summer. Because they don't tour on weekends, and I can't go during a weekday. I can't miss school.
I stumbled. I was already in Orlando, and I kind of just walked into UCF.
Yeah, that is
Just
one
walk
thing.
through.
You can do scheduled group tours, or all college campuses all public college campuses. If you're trying to go to a private campus, I don't know about that because I'm not applying to private campuses. But public campuses, you can walk around. You can just go in and walk around. Most of the time, people will be willing to talk to you if you ask them. And it can be even better if you go without a group because college kids will give you an honest answer when they're not trying to hype up their school. They'll give you more honest answers.
They will.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But yeah, make sure you're visiting colleges that you're interested in. But if you don't feel like you can miss school for it, then don't, because there is time over the summer and over breaks to be doing that kind of stuff.
That's when I went. I went over my sophomore summer going into junior year just because, that's had time on my hands and figured it was a good time to start taking college tours.
And if you get a chance to go with your school, that's also a very good opportunity. Like we've all been to FGCU, our local smaller public university, many times because we've been there on research trips, or I've been there touring the music campus. So if you get chances like that to go for free or to go with a group, take that too. Because then you're missing school, but you're not missing any work because everybody's going. It's great. But yeah. That's really all we've done sort of with applying to colleges, but make sure you write your college essays. That's one thing that me and Isaiah went to a seminar for college, for applying into colleges. Make sure you start writing your college essays like probably end of your junior year into the beginning of your senior year, just because when you are in your senior year and you're doing all of these big things that you're not going to have a lot of time to write essays, or at least not good essays.
Yeah, college essays are the most important thing. Those can be the determining factor if a college accepts you or not. So honestly, I prioritize the college essay over anything else.
Yeah, it is really important that you prioritize your college essay, also because that's where you show your voice. Like, yeah, your transcript shows a lot about you academically, but your essay is a chance to show them about who you are, like as a person, and like what makes you interesting. Like you're not just a school robot.
You get to give them your perspective. You got to sell yourself to these people.
Yeah.
Because after all, this is a business. College is a business, first thing.
Yep.
And so like any good business, they need sellers. They can be sold to and they sell to.
They need quality. They need quality in their schools.
And this is your opportunity to show you that your opportunity to show them, you're not just a number. You're somebody. And you're somebody who has a gift that they want.
Yeah. So when you're trying to balance writing all those essays with school, I'd almost recommend you don't. Write them over the summer, because you're not going to write your quality work when you're really busy at the beginning of your senior year and you're already starting to apply to colleges. Like, you don't want to rush out an essay, because then they're going to think that you're lazy and that you didn't want to do this and that you don't care that much. So don't rush your essays. I guess we could also talk about, like, do any of us have any, like, fears surrounding, like, applying to colleges or, like, going to college in general? I know my biggest fear is, like, leaving home. I don't want to go somewhere new.
Yeah, I don't like, picking up and moving to someplace new and having to start a whole new routine, find myself a new place. I mean, I'd just stay in the same place.
Also, a lot of the stuff we've talked about for high school also applies to college, because college is just adult school.
Mm-hmm.
It's adult school.
It's adult school.
And if you choose to do your master's, that's middle-aged people's school. Some people do school for half of their lives.
Now, a word from our sponsors.
All right, guys. So, given that we're a little bit of novices in this area, we're going to call it there, because that's kind of all the advice we can give. We more are just giving advice on how to balance stuff that we understand how to balance. Mm-hmm. So we'll see you in the next and final episode. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.